She's watching you closely, even when you think she's not. Every text you send, every reaction, every subtle hesitation, she's reading it all. And here's the truth most men refuse to accept. Attraction isn't lost because you're not good-looking or rich. It's lost because of the energy you project. Women, especially high-value ones, are extremely sensitive to weak behavior. They can feel it. They can smell it. It's the quiet insecurity, the need for approval, the lack of boundaries that turns them off instantly. And the most painful part? You might be doing these things without even realizing it. So today, let's expose the 6 weak behaviors that instantly turn off high-value women, so you never lose her respect or her desire again. But before we dive in, if you're serious about understanding female psychology and becoming the kind of man women can't resist, make sure you subscribe to Be Feminine, where we decode attraction, confidence, and the real secrets that make women chase you. First, being too available. Let's be honest, men are taught to show effort, to prove they care. But that's exactly what kills attraction. When you're too available, when she knows she can have your time, your attention, and your energy anytime she wants, you destroy the mystery that fuels a woman's desire. High-value women are not impressed by constant availability. They're drawn to men who have purpose, direction, and things going on outside of them. A man who immediately replies to every text, who rearranges his plans just to see her, or who can't say no, instantly signals weakness. It tells her, you don't have options. You don't have priorities. You're waiting for me to validate you. And women never respect a man who waits to be chosen. In her subconscious mind, a man who's always available becomes predictable. And predictable is the death of attraction. She starts testing you, canceling plans, taking longer to reply, becoming busy. Not because she stopped liking you, but because she's checking if you'll fold. The high-value man doesn't chase that validation. He understands that scarcity creates value, and that silence can speak louder than words. When you show her that your life doesn't revolve around her, something powerful happens. She starts wondering what you're doing, who you're with, and why you're suddenly not as accessible as before. That emotional gap makes her crave your attention again. Because what's rare is valuable, and what's always available loses its worth. 2. Seeking validation instead of respect. There's a silent difference between wanting her interest and needing her approval, and that difference decides whether she's drawn to you or done with you. A man who constantly seeks validation doesn't realize how unattractive it looks from a woman's perspective. Every, do you still like me? Every, did I do something wrong? Every over-explained text, all of it screams insecurity. High-value women don't want to mother you. They want to feel your grounded energy. The kind that doesn't shake just because someone didn't respond fast enough. When a woman senses that your emotions depend on her reaction, she instantly knows you're not in control. And here's the hard truth. Once she feels that, her attraction starts to die. Validation seeking shows up in small, subtle ways. The constant checking of your phone, changing your behavior to please her mood, or fishing for compliments just to feel good about yourself. You think you're showing effort, but what you're actually showing is emotional neediness. And a woman can't respect a man who's emotionally needy. Respect is the root of attraction. Without it, there's no spark, no tension, no chase. The moment you start performing for her approval, you hand over your power. You teach her that she controls the emotional rhythm of the relationship. A high-value woman doesn't want to lead. She wants to follow a man whose self-worth comes from within. Confidence is not about arrogance, it's about certainty. It's the calm assurance that says, I know who I am, and I don't need you to confirm it. When you hold that energy, Women feel it instantly. You could say less, do less, and still make her feel more, because your validation isn't up for negotiation. She begins to trust your emotional stability, and that's when true attraction starts to deepen. Here's the reality. You can't make her respect you by trying to please her. You earn it by showing that her opinion doesn't define you. When you stop chasing validation, something powerful happens. You reclaim your masculine edge. That edge is what makes her curious, what keeps her invested, what makes her wonder, what is it about him that feels so unshakable? And that's the moment she realizes she doesn't just like you, she admires you. Third, over-explaining yourself. One of the most silent attraction killers, and most men don't even realize they're doing it, is over-explaining. It happens when you feel the need to justify everything. Why you didn't text back right away, why you made a certain decision, or why you said something she didn't like. You start explaining not because she asked, but because you're afraid of how she might perceive you. That fear is exactly what turns her off. High-value women are not attracted to men who constantly try to prove themselves right. They're attracted to men who are secure enough to let their actions speak for them. When you start over-explaining, you shift the dynamic. You stop being the grounded man, and you become the nervous one trying to fix something that isn't even broken. And once she senses that anxious energy, she unconsciously starts to test you. She'll challenge your tone, your choices, your boundaries. Not because she's cruel, but because she wants to see if you'll stay composed or collapse under pressure. When you over-explain, you give away your authority. You teach her that you don't trust your own decisions, that her approval is more important than your conviction. And once she realizes that, she loses the emotional tension that keeps her drawn to you. Remember this. Women aren't attracted to perfection. They're attracted to certainty. A man who's calm and brief when questioned feels grounded. A man who rambles and justifies feels insecure. So when she asks, "Why didn't you call me back?" you don't need a 5-minute explanation about being busy. A simple, confident, "I had things to handle, but I'm here now," carries far more power. Why? Because it shows that your life doesn't revolve around appeasing her emotions. The truth is, when you stop explaining yourself, you become mysterious again. She starts wondering what's going on in your world, what keeps you so focused, and why you're not trying to win her approval anymore. That curiosity reignites attraction, because it reminds her you're a man with a life, not a man waiting for hers. Real strength is quiet. You don't need to justify who you are, what you believe, or how you spend your time. When your words are few but firm, your energy speaks volumes. And that's when she starts to lean in. Because your silence doesn't signal guilt, it signals confidence. And confidence is the one language high-value women always respond to. Fourth, over-investing. Too soon. It's one of the most common mistakes good men make. You meet a woman who excites you. She's beautiful, confident, maybe even a little out of your league, and before you know it, you start pouring all your time, attention, and emotions into her. You call her every night, compliment her every move, and start imagining a future before she's even decided if she wants to be a part of your present. That's overinvestment. And to a high-value woman, it signals one thing. You don't know your worth yet. When a man overinvests too soon, he creates imbalance. He starts to give more than he's received, chase more than he's being pursued, and care more than she's earned. That energy feels heavy to her, suffocating even, because it doesn't come from confidence. It comes from fear. Fear of losing her, fear of not being enough, fear of missing a chance. Here's the thing. High-value women are not impressed by effort. They're impressed by energy control. They notice how you pace yourself emotionally. When you move too fast, you expose your need. You make her feel like you've already chosen her before she's had the chance to earn that position in your life. And no woman truly values what comes too easily. When you give too much too soon, she doesn't see generosity. She sees desperation. She wonders, why is he so invested in me already? Does he even have other options? And just like that, the polarity that creates attraction begins to fade. Strong men understand emotional balance. They don't pour everything into one woman right away. They let connection unfold naturally. They allow space, and in that space, mystery grows. That mystery is what makes her think about you when you're not around, what makes her wonder why she can't stop replaying your conversations, what makes her start to invest in you. So here's a rule that every man should remember. Match her energy, don't chase it. If she's giving 30%, give 30%. If she leans in, you lean in. If she pulls away, you stay calm and centered. You're not withholding love. You're maintaining value. Because attraction thrives on balance, not desperation. When you stop overinvesting, something shifts. She starts noticing that you're not trying to buy her affection with attention. You're not trying to earn her love with effort. You're allowing her to feel your worth by not giving it away so easily. And that's when she starts to think differently about you. She realizes you're not like the others. You're not impressed by her. You're intrigued by her. And that difference changes everything. 5. Avoiding conflict to keep the peace. Most men believe that keeping a woman happy means avoiding conflict at all costs. They stay silent when something bothers them, agree just to end an argument, or pretend they're fine when they're not, all because they fear upsetting her. But here's the paradox. Every time you avoid conflict to keep the peace, you're actually destroying it. High-value women don't respect men who can't stand up for themselves. They may enjoy the comfort for a while, but deep down they start to feel a quiet disappointment. Why? Because a man who can't express his truth isn't a man she can truly trust. Women subconsciously test men to see if they'll hold their ground. It's not about dominance. It's about emotional security. A woman feels safest with a man who can look her in the eye and calmly say, "I disagree," without losing composure or begging for harmony. Avoiding conflict might seem like kindness, but in her eyes, it looks like fear. And nothing kills attraction faster than fear disguised as politeness. She starts to sense that you're not being real, that your smiles are forced, your yeses are empty, and your calmness is fake. That emotional dishonesty creates distance, because she can't connect to a man who hides behind peace instead of standing in truth. Real men don't chase validation. They protect their integrity. And that means sometimes you'll need to risk discomfort. If something feels wrong, say it. If you feel disrespected, call it out. Not with aggression, but with quiet authority. You don't need to shout to be heard. You just need to speak from certainty. When you do this, something shifts in her. She might challenge you, argue with you, even roll her eyes. But underneath it, she feels something powerful. Respect. Because deep down, every woman wants a man who can lead with clarity, not compliance. The moment you start standing up for your truth, you stop being the man she can manipulate and start being the man she can admire. Remember this. Tension doesn't destroy attraction. It creates it. Disagreement handled with calm strength tells her, "I won't betray myself just to please you." That statement, without even being spoken, awakens something primal in her. It tells her she's dealing with a man who knows who he is. And a man like that, she'll never take him for granted. So don't fear conflict. Fear the slow death of your self-respect. Because when you stop speaking your truth just to keep her happy, you stop being the man she was drawn to in the first place. 6th, ignoring your purpose for her. This is the most dangerous weakness of all, because it doesn't just kill attraction. It kills your identity. When a man starts to prioritize a woman over his purpose, his whole energy shifts. His focus blurs, his confidence fades, and the passion that once made him magnetic begins to disappear. High-value women can sense this change immediately. They can feel when a man's world starts revolving around them. And instead of feeling special, they start feeling pressure. Because deep down, no woman wants to be the center of your universe. She wants to orbit around a man who has his own. A man without purpose becomes emotionally unstable. He clings harder, reacts quicker, and starts overthinking every interaction. He becomes the man who texts too much, worries too much, and gives too much. Not out of love, but out of fear. And fear will always repel a high-value woman. Your mission, your goals, your passions, these are not just hobbies. They're the backbone of your masculine energy. When you neglect them, you unconsciously tell her, "You matter more than my destiny." And that might sound romantic, but it's actually weak. Because the very thing that attracted her in the first place, your focus, your drive, your ambition, starts to disappear the moment you lose yourself in her. High-value women don't want to lead your life. They want to join it. They want to feel the energy of a man who wakes up every morning with a mission that has nothing to do with them. They want to be part of your story, not the reason you abandoned it. That's why the man who stays grounded in his purpose will always stand out. When she sees that your vision comes before your emotions, she can finally relax. Because now she knows she's dealing with a man who won't crumble just because things get difficult. So remember this. Your purpose is your power, or stay loyal to it, even when love feels intoxicating. Because the man who chooses his path over temporary pleasure is the one every high-value woman secretly desires. Not because he needs her, but because he doesn't. And when a woman feels that your world moves with or without her, she stops testing, stops doubting, and starts admiring. She'll chase that energy because that's the essence of true masculine polarity, calm strength with unstoppable direction. So if you've recognized any of these weak behaviors in yourself, don't feel ashamed. Awareness is power. Every strong man you admire once had to face the same lessons. The difference is they learned to stop chasing approval and start mastering presence. Because the truth is, you don't need to become someone else to attract high-value women. You just need to return to who you were before you started doubting yourself. If you found this video valuable, hit that like button, drop a comment below with which behavior hits you the hardest, and make sure you subscribe to Be Feminine for more real, raw, and powerful lessons about attraction and masculine psychology. Remember, you don't need to chase respect when you live in a way that demands it.